Washkitty, YouTube, it's your boy Jizzy here. And as you can see, we're going to be talking about 2K. And if you're wondering why, it's because I said on Fridays I'm going to yap about things that aren't in a great state and making the changes necessary. I'm not going to make any straight up gameplay changes because I will mention some stuff that I probably would do, but I'm not going to mention the gameplay changes because, for one, I'm not a game dev, so I don't know how these changes would work or um, how to implement them or anything like that, or if it's even possible to implement them. I'm just going to note on the things that I personally think would benefit 2K if they did them. So first things first, let's talk about why I think 2K is the way that it is. I think 2K is the way that it is because of two main reasons, and that's that the 2K community cannot agree on anything, and the 2K devs cannot agree whether or not they want to go the realistic route or the arcade route. There are true downsides to going 100% on both, but in my opinion, it's not that we need an even medium. It's that we need to separate it out by the game mode, if that makes any sense. Instead of making every game mode realistic, let's make some of them arcadey. And instead of making every game mode arcadey, let's make some game modes realistic. Like, for example, Park should definitely be arcadey, in my personal opinion. In Park, you shouldn't really run out of stamina. Like, you should be able to do as many dribble moves as you really want to, things of that nature, because that's what people do in Parks IRL. Like, people go out and get smoked. They 1v1 all the time. And I don't really think most of the time they're running out of stamina. There shouldn't be adrenaline bars. Hot take, there shouldn't be adrenaline bars in the entire game, but I'm not going to say that. But still, Park should be definitely arcadey. In my opinion, there should be at least a couple of my team modes that are arcadey, maybe the 3v3s. I wouldn't say unlimited. I can't remember the one where it has a 4-point line, but that should be arcadey. I can't remember the name of it. I'm blanking. I'm not even going to try it because it's going to make me lose my train of thought. But that should be arcadey. In my opinion, probably the Wreck should be arcadey as well. And that is just about it. Because everything else would be Play Now, which should be realistic. My Team Unlimited, which should be at least somewhat realistic, as much as you can do. And then my career, and then all the Pro-Am modes should be realistic. And what do I really mean by that? As far as what I personally mean by that is that, arcadey is exactly that. It's either, you get contact dunk animations, um, ankle breakers, can shoot contested jump shots every once in a while, things of that nature. Whereas realistic, you can still shoot contested jump shots, but they're going to have a bigger chance to miss. You're not getting contact dunk animations every time down. Maybe a couple times, but not every time down. Or if you have, like, I don't know, maybe all of your adrenaline, you might pull it off. And then, if you're wide open, your jump shot timing's not going to change because it shouldn't change. Things of that nature. In all honesty, the jump shot timing thing has always pissed me off, or it pissed me off in 24, and it will not piss me off in 24 because it's just the stupidest thing. But like I said, I don't really want to try to talk about too many gameplay changes, just more or less, changes like that. I will note on some things that I think need to be tweaked. I think the My Player Builder slightly needs to be tweaked. In my opinion, they either need to give us more points or they need to give us less points. Because right now, it feels as though, especially like a two-way, 3-level scorer, in 2K right now can do just about everything, or a I've seen a 3 level threat with 94 steel, which is a little bit ridiculous in my opinion. Like, you should really only realistically only be able to do two things really well. And then, or maybe well, I said more like one thing really well, like one thing great, one thing good, and then the rest are kind of like eh. So like for example, for my Jimmy Butler build, it should have good defense, it should have decent shooting, and then everything else is bad. Um, which isn't really the case because like my Jimmy Butler build has like a 90 pass ac, which in my opinion pass accuracy shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't affect pass speeds at least. But that is entirely me. If anything, strength should apply to pass speed, but then that would cause some problems because then like Tyrese Halliburton would have 96 strength or something ridiculous, which would not make any sense. Um, but as far as pass speeds go, I feel like if they really wanted to do something with pass speeds, they might as well make it be a badge again because there's really no point in doing it to pass ec. Um, I do know that they got rid of stamina, which is good, but it is going to give us more points though, which kind of scares me. And why do I say that? Well, one of the main problems that 2K has is it tries to appeal to just about everyone. And there was one time in 2K where, we had pie charts and you couldn't make um, perfect builds or anything like that. What ended up happening is, or at least for me, the people that I faced, I didn't face the same builds every day. They were different. I know that like the top tier, the people that play, I don't want to say people that play the game every day because back then I was playing the game pretty much every day, but I know like the top tier like streamers and stuff like that, they're gonna face the same builds. Like I was playmaking shot creator if I'm not mistaken. Kind of ran the game with the pure stretch four and hybrid defender or lockdown. Um, or defensive menace or ball hawk, anything of that nature was running through park and stuff like that. But the thing is that's really always going to be the case. There's never going to be a time where a um one build doesn't run like the or one or teams don't run like the meta lineups. That's just gonna happen, especially nowadays, where as soon as a game drops, there's gonna be a guy on TikTok that's saying, "Oh, this is the meta build. This is the meta gun. This is the meta this." Um, so there's not gonna be much diversity anymore because people like swear to God they're going pro, so they feel the need to run the sweatiest lineups or the sweatiest builds of all time, instead of making builds that actually fit their playstyle. So instead of them, you know, ruining what is quote unquote a perfect build and then complaining about the build not being perfect, and then going to find another perfect build, wasting their VC and things of that nature. When in reality they should be building a build that fits their own playstyle. For example, we have a friend, you guys know him, Sickly Vipers, um, who all he likes to do is dunk the ball. So we told him make a dunking build, and he's been doing perfectly fine on that build. His other builds, I personally don't think he should have made in the first place because he could have saved so much VC if he would have just made the build he should have been playing on in the first place. Um, you know, that's just my own 2 cents on that one. It's different if you're a streamer who gets money from streaming, who has more money to spend on VC. Because most of us average Joes do not. I'm not. If I get 2K25, which I probably won't, I ain't buying VC. I'm good. I'll sit there and play micro for 2 years. But let's get back on track. Um, but the main thing about the builder that kind of scares me is the fact that we're probably going to be getting more points and we're going to be able to do more things, which means that the meta builds are going to be even more annoying. And before we had the builder, we had a bit more diversity. Like I said, I didn't play the same build, When we play Rec, or at least recently when we play Rec, I swear to you, I think we've ran into the same three people. It could be a us thing, but I swear to you, I think we've ran into the same three people. At least for my position, the one, um, which is, I'm not the one, but I'm saying like for the three, the one, and arguably the five, we've ran into the same two builds. Which I get that the three is supposed to be the lock, so I'll give a free pass on that one. But the ones being exactly the same is crazy to me. The fives being exactly the same, like almost down to the T, it's two different builds. It's either you can shoot or you can rebound, and there's no in between. Um, the twos and the fours have been slightly different, but not like anything crazy. It's like, is the two an offensive build? Yes. Okay, so it's the same offensive build that we saw last week. Is the two a defensive build? Oh, okay, it's the same defensive build we saw last week. It's like it's just a variation of two different builds, which I don't like personally. Um, and similar to all the other games that are in a downward spiral, that being Overwatch, Call of Duty, fuck, I don't know. I can name like 30 games on a list right now that's in a downward spiral. It has nothing to do with, in my personal opinion, it has nothing to do with the game itself, which is crazy to say. It has everything to do with the players and how they play the game. Yes, is 2K badly optimized? Yes, it is. However, not to put the blame on any one person, I personally think it is our fault, the 2K community. Because, for one, we put up with a lot of 2K's bullshit when we really shouldn't have. I mean, look what happened with. I mean, to be fair, Madden 25 is not perfect, but they did make some changes. The gameplay that I've seen from Madden 25, because I ain't getting the game, looks like they at least tried to make some differences. They tried to do something just because of College 25 dropping, or NCAA 25 dropping. It looks like they made changes. Whether or not those changes are good, I don't know. Whether or not those changes are bad, I still don't know. But they did something. If we were able to put enough pressure on 2K, they would actually listen to the changes. Because, I mean, back when NBA Live was dropping, they had to listen to the changes, or people were going to go play NBA Live. And that was before NBA Live became absolutely dog shit. So people don't listen anymore, or they don't listen anymore because they have no threat. But, if we were able to effectively apply pressure, we might could get the changes we actually want. For one, if we're gonna get any change, I swear to God, we need to get rid of adrenaline bars because they suck. They're horrible, and I know why they did it. It's to stop people going left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, like they've done in the last two 2Ks without them. But I hate them. They suck. I just don't like them at all. It's a bad mechanic. And plus, I think, to be fair, I also think Mamba's a bad mechanic. Um, it's probably fun for the person that has Mamba, but it is really annoying when he just pulls up in my face. But because he has Mamba, he just hits it. So, that's got to go. But like I said, I'm going to try not to do gameplay changes. I'm going to try to be more speculative of how the game can be fixed, in my opinion, or what needs to be done to fix it, or the best ways to go about fixing it. And rather than doing gameplay changes, I might change that, but for now, that's gonna be how I'm gonna do this. Just because, like I said, I don't know how easy it is to implement things or how hard it is to implement things. But with that being said, catch you guys on the flip side. A little bit of a shorter video today, but I'm out. Peace out.